What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I'm joined by Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
Infinitely awesome as always. How about yourself, sir? As always. Well, if you're wonderful, then I'm just going to be awesome with you.
I like the sound of that. But you can all be awesome with us because you're here with us on a new episode of All Things Super.
That was my,
like your angelic chorus.
Right.
We're on the same page. But if you don't know what All Things Super is, every week we take a piece of superpower TV, movie, trailer, we watch it, we react to it, we break it down, we review it, we talk about it, and we answer the question, is it super?
Is it? You know what you should do? You should say, we add a little squeeze of lime in there when we review it. Add a little squeeze of lime, make it like a little ceviche. No, just throwing suggestions out there.
We'll workshop that. We'll talk about it. We'll see if we can. We'll see if we can sprinkle it in.
Sour taste to it, so maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Cinnamon? We'll see. Oh, okay. But if you like that, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can click on the bell to be notified when we have new episodes that go out. If you want the audio version, you can just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to join in on the conversation, you can tweet at us at ATSuperPod. But this episode, we're going back to She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. We're talking about episode 7, The Retreat.
Here we are. What? The who? The
Retreat. Not the retreat. The Retreat.
Well, being the fact that Jen went there and she was able to retreat and treat herself to some unexpected situation of stuff that's going on. It was a treat. It was definitely a treat of some kind.
But in my opinion. Before we get into the episode, of course, if you haven't seen the episode already, go back, watch the episode, come back, take a listen to us, and you can share your opinions.
I didn't even.
You didn't spoil anything. No, you didn't spoil anything.
So because I didn't.
But we're about to get into spoilers. But before we get into spoilers, we have to
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
That is the official spoiler warning. Let you know if you haven't watched She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, episode what?
7
on Disney Plus. Go do that right now because we about to get into it. And we didn't even do a long prologue this time.
We just kind of jumped right into it.
Hey, sometimes that's what happens on this show. It's unscripted. So if you like it, hit the subscribe button, bell, notifications. This is why you do this thing, because I'm not great at it at all.
Subscribe, bell, like notification, all of that stuff.
Look for sound effects. You should hear dings and clicks. Click and dings. She-Hulk, back at it again. Listen. Blonsky's inhibitor has gone MIA. What's going on with it? It's malfunctioning. Mm-hmm. The parole officer calls up She-Hulk. This is the lawyer that's representing Emil Blonsky, and with good reason. She kind of needed something to do because Slow Smarter One, and again, we talked about it. We're going through a little relationship with montage with Josh.
Yeah.
Josh is a guy that Jennifer's met, talked to. Didn't we see him last episode? Kind of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're thinking, this is great. Josh actually likes Jennifer Walters for Jennifer Walters. And we're thinking, man, Jennifer deserves this. Yes, Josh, you seem like a stand-up, reputable guy. Josh about to come in. We on Team Josh. Josh, a jackass and a jerk. And another J word that'll go in that category because at the end of the episode, we see Josh do some fuckboy, just some told you so show about fuckboy shit. Some fuckboy shit. Listen, Josh is stealing secrets and taking pictures. Hey, you might as well take pictures of her feet while she sleep. Put them on OnlyFans, Josh. They're trying to make some money. If you really trying to, hey, I'm just saying it's weird anyway. Because the stuff that he's doing, what's he doing, Spider? Where is this information going?
It's going to Hulk King. I mean,
going to who?
Hulk King. That's who he was sending it to.
The fuck is Hulk King?
At the end of the last episode, we saw on the Intelligentsia website, Hulk King runs the Intelligentsia website. And so
I got that.
And so when we saw that there were these scientists spying on Jen while she was talking to Josh at the wedding, Hulk King, message popped up on the screen, said something about ready for the next phase. We're getting into the next phase. And that's when we saw the big long needle.
Yeah, I remember that. And, I don't really say who the fuck Hulk King is.
No,
though.
we don't know who Hulk King is yet. There's suspicions.
Trying to pull some WandaVision shit going on. Is this what's going on? Are we trying to do this? Because remember in WandaVision, they faded back and seen that somebody was watching Wanda on the monitor.
Oh,
which was a weird thing because how would they have that exact footage inside of a hex? But we're not here to talk about plot points in WandaVision that makes no sense. We're here to talk about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, plot points that don't make any sense.
Right. Well, so they don't reveal who Hulk King is, and I'm assuming that at some point throughout the season, well, I say season, but the next 2 episodes, we only have 2 episodes left.
Here we go with this nonsense again, Disney.
We'll find out at some point.
At the end.
Because not only does Jen get ghosted by Josh, and we don't find out until the end of the episode, but not only does Jen get ghosted by Josh, and so she spends a good part of the episode waiting for Josh to respond to her message, because the last thing she said to Josh, because they show a montage of Jen and Josh going on dates, and we see that after the 3rd date, or what we perceive to be the 3rd date, they hook up. So Josh spends the night, Josh leaves, and Jen texts Josh and said, can't stop smiling. She's excited. She's happy to be dating someone who seems like to be a great guy, but Josh never responds. And so fuck boy shit. And so Jen is consumed with her phone, waiting to get a response from Josh, to the point to where Nikki asked her, she's like, are you like scrolling the Intelligentsia website? And Jen, confident in who she is, she's like, no, I'm not worried about what people say about She-Hulk. And if anything, basically she's saying those are some internet trolls just talking shit about me online. And if they came up to me, I'll just fucking Hulk smash them anyway. And she literally said, I will Hulk smash them.
Hey, it makes sense. She's a Hulk. It's not like come on, man, really?
But so we find out
playing the Hulk side of it all.
So we find out that Jen has been nominated for Lawyer of the Year. And so I think it was the California Law Association or something like that. And so she's being
interesting. They used her profile. Her profile picture was recycled again, and that I thought that was very interesting. About that she uses that for everything. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like her yearbook photo.
Yeah, but so. And all of that's to say that we see at the end of the episode, and just letting you guys know that we're going to be jumping around the episode, but we see at the end of the episode that obviously Josh did something. He took pictures of Jen while she was sleeping. He texted a message basically with a syringe, like a test tube, and basically like confirming that he got her blood.
Yeah, that was weird too, because I would think, when would that have happened?
Right.
And that's weird, because
it's really strange.
You're not gonna pull a needle out on Jennifer and she'd be like, okay, unless she's into that, because that's weird.
That is weird. Even if she was sleeping, I feel like somebody would feel you inject, because you can't just inject a syringe into somebody's body at any part of their body and extract blood. You have to go into a vein. Right.
Exactly. And we see how sensitive she was when she woke up. She instantly became Hulk when Bruce was testing her reflexes to it. So again, make it make sense, my guy. Make it make sense.
So hopefully in the next couple of episodes, well, hopefully in the next episode they'll explain that, because we've gotten to this trend of even though we see that these all of the episodes are episodic, so you have different events happening in each episode that are a little bit disjointed from the previous episode, that doesn't necessarily have the continuity of the previous episode, but that through line that we have all the way back to the wrecking crew trying to get Jen's blood. They sprinkle a small detail about that in just about every episode. It's just like a little tidbit. So that's the connecting through line through all the episodes. So hopefully with the next episode, because we've gotten in episode 5, we got the introduction or the appearance of the Daredevil suit, but we never got that paid off. Daredevil has yet to show up in She-Hulk. So now we're 2 episodes removed from that, and still no Daredevil.
Show up. you don't want to show up.
Really don't want. You don't want Matt Murdock to be in the show.
There's just no. Listen, first of all, he's a horrible attorney. Okay, we talked about this many times. See,
I still don't understand where you're getting this information from. Him being a bad attorney.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's a great attorney. I'm just saying I don't see why you're shitting on Matt Murdock so much that he's a horrible attorney.
If he comes on to the law firm, GL, whatever the law letters are,
I don't think he's going to be a part of the firm.
Well, maybe. Probably.
I don't think you're going to take, because he's the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He's not going to relocate permanently to LA. He may be visiting, but I don't think he's going to stay in California.
I'll say this. There's no room for him in the show. The show doesn't need him. And I think no matter what he brings to the show, it's not intriguing enough for me to care in the show. It takes away from She-Hulk. It doesn't. With all the other cameos, it made sense. I feel like you're just shoehorning them in there.
I'd have to disagree with that.
Like you say, we got 2 episodes. Make it make sense. Why is he there?
Right. And I think
unless we're bringing She-Hulk to Hell's Kitchen, season 2.
It's possible. Maybe. I don't know. But then if you do that, then like you said, there's not enough room for Daredevil in She-Hulk. So why would you bring She-Hulk to Hell's Kitchen, where it would be essentially
ensure that Daredevil
will be in the show?
Works.
But no, I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to do that.
You have an MCU full of people are tired of these standalones at this point. You want collab roles, if nothing else.
That's not what people are saying about She-Hulk. People are upset that She-Hulk has so many cameos in it. People wanted She-Hulk to be a She-Hulk show.
But they're going to ensure that She-Hulk is a She-Hulk success, so they're going to drive cameos in there.
I agree with that, but I feel like you have a procedural law show, a procedural law sitcom. You're a superhero law division. You have to have superheroes to represent. So we saw that one episode we represented Wong. Another episode they had to represent another lawyer, okay, because he was dealing with the light elf, pretending to be Megan Thee Stallion. So it's not every episode doesn't have, the superhero cameo in it. We had Mr. Immortal.
Yeah, you had Megan Thee Stallion in
it. You had Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, Mr. Immortal. We had Mr. Immortal. Introduction to the character, which I'm sure we'll see again, just like I'm sure we'll see the light elf, because she was a princess, which is fine. And then we got Donnie Blaze, which again you're gonna see.
Well, then Wong was in that episode too.
And then what is it? What's her name? Madison. Who doesn't want more Madison?
Right.
I want more Madison. So you get all these introductions to these new characters, if not these cameo characters. Abomination is in it, just like in this episode, Abomination's in it again. And we introduced some more new characters. Man-Bull.
We have Man-Bull. We have El Aguila. We have Saracen, and we have Porcupine. And also we have a reintroduction of Wrecker, who was part of the Wrecking Crew. I think his name is Wrecker. The show's full
of cameos, and it's interesting that it's in her life, but like, where are we going now? I guess to me, this is one of the weaker episodes because I get we got to move on. I guess I'm trying to see where are we moving to.
So I think that as far as a sense of progressing the storyline as to where we're going with the antagonist of the show, I feel like they didn't do much with that up until the last few minutes when we saw that Josh was the fuckboy and basically taking pictures of Jen in her sleep. I think that this episode focused more on character development for Jen, because we see in these past few episodes how much Jen has been struggling with who she
her
is.
Love life.
Not only her love life, but just with who she is as this person. Because here's the thing. Bruce was surprised that Jen didn't have to fight for control over herself. Because Bruce had to deal with, he had Bruce and he had Hulk. Hulk wanted control of the body. Hulk said, I want to be in control. I'm the strongest. Bruce is like, well, I don't want to be this green rage monster destroying everything. They came to a middle ground, and we have Professor Hulk.
Got it.
He was surprised that Jen didn't have to do that. Jen had full mental faculty when she was Hulk, as well as her being Jen. But where Jen didn't have that internal struggle, Jen has the external struggle, right? Because Jen gets fired from her previous law firm because she's She-Hulk, but she gets hired at a new law firm who wants her to be She-Hulk. Right. And so we get that internal struggle because it's like when she starts working at GLKNH, I forget the name of the lawyer, but the name of the attorney who's part owner of the firm or whatever. But he basically says, I want you to be She-Hulk. In the office, when you're trying cases, I want you to be She-Hulk. Jen wanted to be just Jen. She wanted to have her merits stand on her own for the person that she is, because she's a great lawyer. So there's this outward struggle of her trying to live her life as Jen, but everybody still wants her to be She-Hulk. She sees the love and the adoration
about the whole story. I love that.
And so this episode, because we get that at GLKNH, we get that when she's trying to go on dates that nobody wants to match with Jen, but everybody matches with She-Hulk. We get that identity crisis when Titania tries to take the She-Hulk name, and so she has to accept the She-Hulk name if she still wants to be recognized as She-Hulk and accept that she is She-Hulk. And then we get the wedding episode where she shows up as She-Hulk, but Lulu wants her to be Jen. Lulu doesn't want She-Hulk. And then she finally finds someone who accepts her as Jen, who likes her as Jen. And then she thinks that she's in a decent relationship as Jen, but then the guy ends up ghosting her. And so she goes to the retreat, and she basically has to understand, with the help of Blonsky and the help of the rest of the gang, not that kind of gang, but the rest of the gang, just want to make sure he let make it known to the parole board, it's not that kind of gang.
Not that kind of gang.
But the rest of the gang, they help her realize that you are Jen and you are She-Hulk. You are an amazing person on both fronts. You don't have to choose to be one or the other. You can be both and still be that amazing person, still be that strong person. You know, you may have physical strength as She-Hulk, but you still have strength as Jen. You still have things to offer as Jen. And so she had to come to terms to realize that about herself. And so she says, as She-Hulk, you know, she says, Jen is awesome. I realize that Jen is awesome. And they're like, well, we want to see Jen, because at that point they only saw She-Hulk. So like, we want to see Jen, we want to get to know Jen. And so
did you feel at that point in time that they were going to try to attack her and then take her blood?
No, I didn't.
I thought that. I was like, if she depowers, they're going to try to attack her, and it's not going to work.
Like, it was a whole ploy to try to, like, the whole thing was a ploy to get her out there to try to get the jump on her.
Not that part, but when they introduced the guy from the Wrecking Crew, I was like, okay, this is another attempt or an attack of some type.
I would have liked for Jen to at least question him. Like, well, why? Why did you try to attack me? You know, because it couldn't have been just some random attack, because you have people who have Asgardian power tools or Asgardian, you know, like construction equipment. You don't just run up on a regular person in the alley with Asgardian construction equipment. So I would have liked, I would have liked for her to have questioned him, understand what was going on, and then maybe that leads her into like sort of investigating exactly that's going right. And so tie that back to the intelligentsia website or something like that, because, and I know we kind of stepped off of.
God damn.
And I know we kind of stepped out the whole Daredevil thing, but I think that the reason that Matt Murdock is going to be the reason that no, I don't believe that Daredevil sucks. That's why I say I disagree with you on that. But I think the reason that he's going to be a part of the show is because he's going to help her with this whole intelligentsia thing, because for some reason, I don't know why, but like you said, make it make sense. I don't know why he's going to be on that case, but he's going to have at least some part of investigating something that's going on, and that's what's going to have them cross their paths.
I
don't know why you hate Daredevil so much.
I don't actually like Daredevil.
So why are you saying that Daredevil sucks?
Because I keep it real, man. Ain't no sense to lie about him. He sucks.
Why does he? If you say you like Daredevil, why did he suck?
Listen, I need Daredevil to stay on ground level doing something else somewhere else. Go back to Hell's Kitchen with this nonsense, man. You don't belong in this show. The show's doing well without you. It doesn't need a Daredevil. Let Daredevil. You know what? Throw Daredevil in Deadpool. Yeah, work that out. Let that be a thing.
Why?
Exactly. You don't want your Deadpool to have Daredevil.
No, I was saying how would you make that connection? Why Deadpool of all characters?
Why not Deadpool? Yeah, Deadpool can carry anybody. It doesn't matter. Just introduce them in a weird way somewhere, and they just want more Deadpool. So it doesn't really matter where he shows up. Because everyone's talking about, oh, Deadpool 2, he got Cable's time traveler and, watch, and he went back and changed the timeline, and that's how he's in the MCU now. Wait, so now time travel equates multiverse hopping?
Well, you saw that at the end of the movie, he, like, messed with it. He, like, I don't know how he was able to, but he basically messed with it to go through the universes, because he killed Ryan Reynolds reading the Green Lantern script, so he definitely hopped universes.
God damn, you're absolutely right. Welcome to the MCU, buddy.
Yeah, so that was like unintentionally, because it was still a 20th Century Fox property at that time before they were acquired by Disney, but they inadvertently let him travel through multiverses, and that gave him
what happened.
What happened? Ryan Reynolds happened. That's what happened.
No, Sylvia killed He Who Remains. That's allowed those things to happen. You got to make it make sense, man. Because Feige did a great job of doing it, because it explains so much without explaining a lot. And for those who know how to put the pieces together, they're going to see success in this multiversal event. I know we're talking about She-Hulk, but I'm saying there are better ways to not put Daredevil in this show by not including them at all.
I'm not on the same page as a lot of people about.
What do you want to see from Daredevil in this show? Like, what is he going to do? He can't do anything.
What do you mean he can't do anything? See, that's the thing. We don't know what the threat is. That's the biggest problem right now, is that we don't know what the threat is. So you think
Daredevil is a better problem solver than She-Hulk?
I feel like Daredevil is more experienced. If he's at this point, he's been Okay, so if we're taking Charlie Cox from the Netflix Daredevil series.
Gotcha, I'm with it.
He's fought
nothing Kingpin. Against that show either. That's a great show.
Okay, but so he's fought Kingpin, he's fought Bullseye, he's fought the Hand. So he has experience fighting villains.
Got you.
Whereas She-Hulk does not.
She don't need it. She's a Hulk.
Okay.
There's nothing that they can do to her. She's down there in impenetrable skin.
Yeah, but we also saw that Hulks are sensitive to supersonic sounds. And we saw in the trailer footage that you have these what look like DODC agents, and they're coming out with these handheld like supersonic guns that are very similar to the supersonic like Humvee trucks that they had in the Incredible Hulk movie.
Makes sense.
So if they're going to be attacking her with those, she's going to feel invulnerability for the first time as a Hulk. So she has to be able to come back from that.
She's going to get angry. And as in Hulks, the angrier they get,
the stronger they get. And I understand that. But
Daredevil was in the way. Go over there at the kiddie pool, sit down and have a sippy cup and let the Hulk smash. Because you're a liability, dude. That's all I'm saying.
He's
and you're a horrible lawyer.
I don't know where you're getting this from.
He's a horrible attorney.
Why? What evidence do you have that he's a horrible attorney?
Okay, go to the comics. You'll see. He lost more cases than he won. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Hey, if you guys know how many cases Matt Murdock has lost in the comics versus She-Hulk cases,
but I'm saying
that in the comments.
But we're not talking about comic book Daredevil. We're talking about MCU Daredevil.
Nah, I know he lost. We talked about this already. He didn't even get Spider-Man off.
What do you mean?
The charges were dropped.
He didn't have to. Okay, so because the charges got dropped, that makes him a bad attorney.
It didn't even go to trial. What are you talking about?
So he also, if you've seen, this is spoilers for No Way Home, the extended version, he represented Happy. He represented Happy. Happy didn't go to jail. Happy got off.
I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it.
All right. So, but have you seen the Daredevil Netflix show?
I seen when he got dumped in a dumpster.
And Rosario Dawson had to
Rosario Dawson found him where he deserved to be in a trash can.
The hate is so strong. It's so much hate.
Just because they had Rosario Dawson literally saved this dude and recycle
so much hate.
Y'all need to be thanking Rosario Dawson for everything that happened with Netflix, okay? She held that thing together.
It was her and Turk.
Who?
You don't remember Turk? Turk was the crook that had to deal with every single one of the Netflix superheroes. Turk went up against Daredevil. Turk went up against Luke Cage. Turk went up against Jessica Jones. Turk was just trying to run his little criminal business across New York, and he ran into every single one of them.
Man, so again, it's doable to have like a good origin and to go into other stuff. Listen, I think we got to a point. Now, I'm not going to say that She-Hulk Attorney at Law this episode wasn't critical in character development. But like you said, coming into this episode, knowing that we only have 2 more episodes left, you kind of want to start to weave those things inward. Even if there's going to be a season 2 or a spinoff, you got to kind of bring it in. We still feel like we at that point. And now we're coming to the end, and you're going to shoehorn all this stuff in, and they're going to fumble the ending like they always fumble the ending with these Disney Plus shows. And I hate it because I like this show so much. I'm wanting them to stick the landing. They don't seem to be doing a great job with sticking these landings. Like,
I agree.
We said the same thing about Moon Knight. We said the same thing about what's the other one? Ms. Marvel.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, it's just too much at the end. Like we thought it was because of the episodes of being so short. This one has an extra 2 episodes? Because usually it's 6. You say this one was 9,
this one
right?
Is 9, 6, 7, so it's 3 episodes.
3 episodes, and we still not getting a wrap up the way we should kind of get a wrap up. And I don't know. This one wasn't the best. No, I understand the character development of it all, and I'm thankful that we have it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, we need to start to tie these things together if we're going to tell a complete story. And maybe they'll do that in the next one. But are you still getting to a point now? We're going to introduce Daredevil. Why is he there? What is he doing there? You know, I still want to see the suit, which I guess they're going to save that for the last episode, that she go off onto her adventures of avenging or wherever we'll see her next. Mm-hmm. But at this point in time, it's like, make it make sense, my guy. Make it make sense.
So when it comes to episode 7 of She-Hulk, the She-Hulk Attorney at Law, The Retreat, is the episode super?
I'm going to say yes, it is, because again, overall, I know what we're doing, but I really kind of wish we would have did it a different way, in the sense of start to bring some of this stuff on his head. Let's get a complete package out of this season. And you know, no, the new episode may drop and I might change my mind and say, hell no, it's not super, or it's even more super. But I just really feel like with these shows, something happens at the end and we just get the only one that I can say that successfully nailed the ending, I think, was Loki. Mm-hmm. I think they successfully set up, because again, the setup with this was to build onto the MCU. Kang is going to be a major part of the MCU, and they're going to deal with him on multiple fronts. I think there was more incentive to get that right.
Right.
And even though the implications of what happened on Loki, which allowed the spell to go wrong in Doctor Strange, which, so Spider-Man, and then we're dealing with Wanda, again, a lot of stuff happening, but we still got that build up that we know that Kang's coming and Fantastic Four is coming, and we got a lot of things happening, but
yeah,
all these other standalone properties that's going on, I'm okay with. Like, again, She-Hulk, the backstory is fine. It was quick, blood in the blood. We got a Hulk. She's dealing with it. These are her everyday things. Again, don't get me wrong. I don't need a sky beam. I don't need world-ending stakes. But at the same time, it makes sense. You're a superhero. You got superpowers. With the shady things that's going on in the MCU, it's not far-fetched for people to believe that if we had her blood, we could replicate it, have all kind of super soldiers. Like, so there's enemies out there. It makes sense. But in dealing with that, we're dealing with Jen's dating life. Okay, so that's your A story or your B story. But at some point in time, let's get these things to start paying off if we want to tell a complete story. Mm-hmm. I just think this episode, it's super, but it could have been better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. I hope that makes sense to all of y'all, because y'all looking at me like, your realization of statistics and storytelling is high, dude. Calm down. You're right. I don't know what to tell you. I like what I like.
I mean, that's fair. Yes, sir.
She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Disney. That is the coolest shit. That's just, I'm gonna snap on my shit. It's plus. Is it super?
Yeah, I'll say the episode is super.
By thin line or what?
No, I never said by thin line. No, I do agree with you that we're getting these teases, and like you said, we're not having a payoff on anything yet. With 2 episodes being left, I don't want them to fall into that same problem that we were talking about with Miss Marvel, where you try to jam pack and resolve everything in the last episode. So I'm hoping that even though we do have 2 episodes left, we're hoping that we can kind of pace that those, everything, we can pace that in a reasonable way to where we can get a resolution to the story. Or even if we end on a cliffhanger and we get an announcement that there's going to be a season 2,
Yeah, let's do that now. Let's just go ahead and make the announcement there's a season 2 now, because everyone loves the show. You don't wait till, you're like, give us something, even though if you don't explain it, we know, okay, there's a season 2 coming. Let's prepare ourselves for that.
Right.
Instead of leaving things ambiguous and looking for that shit later on your Disney Plus D23 meeting, like where's season 2 of She-Hulk or Loki or Moon Knight or Ms. Marvel or the Photon or the Young Avengers or Kane.
Yeah, you go hating again.
It must be that Daredevil world. Oh yeah, it is. In fact, Daredevil is going to show up on Echo. That's one we could skip.
The hate. But
can't smell Hell's Kitchen without hate, baby. Yeah.
Sure, there's no A in Hell's Kitchen, but no, I love this show. I love the episode. I appreciated the introspective look at everything that Jen was going through, and even though this show showed us, or at least showed me, that you don't need the action scenes, you don't need the fight scenes, even though we've gotten some fight scenes. But you don't need the show to be centered around the action. It'll still be good. There's still those comedic beats. The whole group therapy session with El Aguila and Manbull, and how they were calling them out for their little codependency thing, and the way they had them have to sit on opposite sides of the room because El Aguila was answering for Manbull, and how Manbull was just basically like, we have this thing going on because for me, as a bull, I see you as a matador. So that affects me, and I have problems with that. It's triggering for me. And that there's still, even though we have some more serious tones in this episode, they still find a way to keep it lighthearted. Still find a way to pepper in the jokes and everything like that. Dealing with Porcupine and him taking off his suit, and Sarah
and how it smells. Oh my god. They did not let out that. It stinks in there.
And then he probably whatever sores or whatever it is on his face from having the mask on all the time. He takes the mask off and everybody was like, ugh. And he's like, what's wrong? Am I ashy? It's like, no, your face has been locked in with moisture. You're the opposite of ashy, if anything.
Yeah. And the smell.
And the smell. But and we had Saracen, who thought he was a vampire. I don't even know what's going on with that. But
that's not to say he's not.
It's not to say that he's not. But then the thing about it is, that now that we're sprinkling in all of these other things, because we have Manbull, who's obviously a mutated person. He says that he was injected with the mutant genetics of a bull, and so now he's a man bull. And we have El Aguila, who's bioelectricity. He's shooting bioelectricity out of his sword. Saracen may be a vampire. So these are other parts of this now established MCU, this universe, where we don't know where these people came from. We don't know how they acquired their abilities. Before She-Hulk, and outside of established storylines where people got powers, like Iron Man. We saw that, Iron Man 3, we saw, the people with the extremists. We saw how they got the extremist power. We saw that they were being experimented on. Iron Man 2, we saw how Whiplash got his, how he created his own arc reactor and used that for his, his whips and everything. We saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we saw exactly how these super soldiers were created, right? So outside of storyline established powers, we've not seen any other superpower people. We haven't just seen, just bystanders with enhanced abilities. We haven't just seen, people just passing by using powers. But now we're getting people who aren't necessarily integral to the main storyline. They have abilities. Mr. Immortal just showed up out of nowhere. I'm immortal. I can't die. Or I die, but I come back to life. Now we have
Manbull. Yeah. I died for like a little bit. And then
I come back. And we have Manbull. Manbull came out of nowhere. We don't know where Manbull came from. We don't know where Elagila came from. We don't know where Saracen or Porcupine came from. We don't know.
We did get a small backstory when they were in college.
Yeah, we did see Elagila. He did JV and Matadoring. So, I mean, we got a little bit of backstory on that. But still, we don't know where his abilities generated from. What made him start Matadoring? What made him start being a swashbuckler?
It is a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. But so all of these other powered people, this just introduces us or slightly peppers in this world of powered people. So even if people may not like the main story of Jen sort of taking his time to find herself, because I still think that there's these undertones of, we've kind of been going through this this progression again of being able to identify your own self-worth, right? And this struggle that Jen is having, being She-Hulk and being Jen, and having to work that out. And now it's sort of in this day and age with everything that's going on in the world, how sort of sometimes you may have to, and not that every show or every episode has sort of this, what do they call the after school special lesson of the week. That was not that every episode has one, but this one kind of had. It was maybe at sometimes when you are dealing with these kind of issues, sometimes it is better to have a support group around you to help you get through this. Have some people that you can talk to, that you can trust in, that you can confide in, and be able to vent and get these feelings out. And sometimes you're hurting, and you gotta go into a sweat lodge and just sweat it all out.
Yurt it out. Just yurt it all the way out.
But so even if you don't like that particular part of the story that wasn't something that you were interested in as far as this episode of She-Hulk, I think that if any person is a fan of the MCU, you at least have to appreciate the fact that we're now again sprinkling all of these different characters in, and now we're expanding the universe because now we have more powered people who have been kind of lying in wait, are just among us. And what we were talking about before the show, we have, what if there are mutants walking among us, but like Mr. Immortal, they have no physical deformities, so we don't know that they have powers. They're just walking among us like regular people.
Not only mutants, fairies and scrolls,
and scrolls and trolls and elves and all this other kind of stuff. But what if there's also this subsect of mutated people like Manbull, who have visible physical deformities? This is a man who looks like a bull. He would not be able to integrate himself in regular society. He would have to be somewhere else in order to not be made a spectacle of. So what if there's this
only a school that he could go to for gifted youngsters?
So there may be one that exists at this point. So we don't know. Like I said, we don't know where Manbull came from. We don't know where Manbull resides because this is a retreat. So Manbull doesn't live here. So he goes somewhere. And so I appreciate the fact that now we're opening this up. We're opening up the world of the MCU to be able to understand that there are more powered people out there that we still don't know about.
I think this is what Phase 4 was all about. because we got more introductions to more characters now than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, though that does create thousands of IP, which is I'm pretty certain that Disney loves, but story wise, it's going to be hard, and I won't say hard, I'll say challenging to have all of these factors going on with these characters continuously showing up. So you have this group going through things, and you'll come across Man, Wool, and Matador, and the Flockers from Hawkeye, and LARPers from Hawkeye.
You said the Flocker, the what?
Meet the Lockers. Okay, so you'll see them, and then you'll see, Moon Knights, Egyptian superheroes, and just you're almost getting to a point it's a Kingdom Hearts type of situation, because there's a lot of characters and a lot of side characters who makes those characters great, right? Because it's not just about them. There's an ensemble to make. You can't do an Ant-Man without doing the Luis scene, right? It would feel weird because it's in both movies. People loved it, obviously, from the first one, so they brought it back. Now, if you do it again without it, it's gonna feel, where's the Luis scene?
Right, where's Luis?
But is it too much? Is it too dependent on the Luis scene at this point? Questions like that, as a creator, you kind of. I think one of the best things that Thor Ragnarok did was it was nothing like any of the other Thors that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
But it still had a lot of the core elements, and you also had Loki in it.
Right.
And I question, was this new Thor not as good because Loki wasn't in it?
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, because Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth have a chemistry together that's just, people love to see the brothers go at it, and then we see the brothers come together, even doing things like Get Help. Is something that we rooted for. To see Tom Hiddleston consoled his brother with Jane actually dealing with cancer is a missed opportunity. You had real weight there that you can explore, and Thor feeling powerless, not because he could not help, but respected Jane's decision not to help, because you said she's picking up the hammer because she thought some space magic or Viking magic would help cure the cancer, which it does, but it also pushes out all the chemo, which only makes the cancer worse.
Right.
Shitty deal, but I understand for the story. This is the one we're going to tell. But again, having Loki in a Thor movie kind of feels right. Feels right. But he was in everything Thor was in. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think, and this is a discussion for a whole nother episode, but
of course it is. That's what we do here. We give you all new episodes from old episodes.
I don't think Loki would have been able to add anything.
Oh my goodness! Love and Thunder. Who's hating? I'm
not hating on anything. All I'm doing is disagreeing with a point that you brought up. I never said that.
Daredevil versus Loki. Who wins in that?
Fucking Loki, because he has powers.
Goddamn right he does.
That's not even a question.
Trash. Put him back in the dumpster. He's trash. Anyway, what I'm saying is, why would you say that? Loki could have been integral in the part of one, fighting Zeus, fighting Hercules as Hercules is coming.
Yeah, but then you also have to go through the whole explanation of why Loki is alive, because Thor saw Loki die.
Okay, so dude, we're gonna have to cross this bridge at some point in time.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like we did that in Ragnarok. He already was angry with him because he's like, I saw you die, I mourned you, and now you tricked me and you took our father's place on the throne.
Well, this is not the same Loki.
I know, and then we have to explain that too. And I feel like that takes away from the entire Love and Thunder storyline.
This is a job. You make plot holes, you got to explain these plot holes.
It's not, at the same time, not a plot hole, but I'm saying you're putting a character into the movie who, if you're telling this story, if this story is supposed to be about Thor and Jane, it's supposed to be about the love between them and the sacrifice that Jane is making because she knows that she's dying, and we're talking about the sacrifice or what Gore is going through because he lost his family, because he doesn't believe in gods, and because he's trying to destroy all the gods. This Loki only fits into that story in and of the fact that he is a god. That's the only place that Loki would be able to fit into that story, unless you rewrote the entire thing. Not to say that the whole entire thing couldn't be rewritten to fit Loki in, but why would you rewrite? Why would you deviate from because obviously they're going with the Mighty Thor storyline from the comics. And so Loki is not an integral part of that storyline in the comics. So why put Loki just because he's an MCU favorite into the storyline?
You just explained why Daredevil shouldn't be in a She-Hulk attorney at law.
But Daredevil and She-Hulk have had storylines in the comics together. Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters have worked together before.
So, dude, your guy sucks, man. I'm just going to ahead and keep it 100. He sucks. She-Hulk's awesome. She-Hulk needs to be in the show by herself.
But she has not been by herself. That's the whole point. She has not been by herself the entire show.
So are you saying that Disney is padding She-Hulk to make sure that she doesn't fail?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
These cameos in there with Madison with the Y, but not what you think.
I'm not saying that at all. I've never said that. I think that, like I said before, with a superhero law division, you have to have superpower people to represent. So you're going to have cameos, and being able to weave She-Hulk's way into the MCU, this is the best and most effective way to do that, because how can you create her and have her be a part of the MCU, but you don't have any MCU components in the show? So you bring in Bruce, because of course Bruce is her biggest connection. If not for Bruce, she wouldn't be a Hulk. So of course you got to have Bruce in there. You bring in Wong. You know, and it didn't have to be Wong, but you bring in Wong because now we have a mystical, you know, sort of element into the show. Demons. Right, she fought demons. And you can bring in we bring in Daredevil. Daredevil is now part of the MCU, and now that connects Daredevil back to the MCU. So
this is just a connection show. That's all we're doing.
I'm not saying that it's a connection show, but I'm saying if you're going to, because every single show that we've had thus far, outside of Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, Moon Knight didn't have any real connection to the MCU outside of them mentioning the astral plane, talking about the land of the ancestors for Black Panther. Outside of that, where do we get any connection to the MCU proper?
Listen, I'm not mad at what they're doing with the introduction of these characters. I'm mad that they're not tidying it up, because again, we only have 2 episodes left.
Right. And
you're not getting a full explanation about everything that's going on. And that's what I'm frustrated with.
In the adverse reaction that we had with Moon Knight, where I was middling on Moon Knight all the way throughout the season, and I did not hold hope that Moon Knight was going to end on a high note, because
it did.
And it did, but because of the way that
he died.
Because of the way that the season was going, that's why I didn't hold out on hope. So I wasn't like, oh my God, I was holding out on hope that they were going to end this, like they were going to nail an ending. Because I didn't think that they were going to, because the entire season wasn't going in that direction. I am holding out on hope for She-Hulk Attorney at Law. That these last 2 episodes.
That's what you're doing. Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. And so
you don't see the writing on the wall. Okay.
I can hope. I'm not saying that I'm going to be right. I'm just saying that I'm holding out on hope. I feel like the show has been.
So you do see the flaws, though.
No, we every week we talk about the show and I'm pointing out the flaws. Yes, I see the flaws.
I'm just saying. You start to see the ground start to shake. You like
I'm
wondering.
Not saying that the flaws
how
aren't
long
there.
we can stay in here before we get sucked into the earth.
But I also appreciate the writing of the show, and I think that I think that they have a plan, and I'm just holding out on hope that for these last 2 episodes, we're going to get that point to where we can come to that that focal point to where we can end.
Yeah, right. That's all I can sing about too.
That's my hope.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. 2 episodes.
I mean, you can do a lot in 2 episodes. You could,
one putting Daredevil in it.
So let us
know. Daredevil need to show up at the end of the last episode. He's like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" And just cut the black. And then that's all.
There's already scenes in the mid-season trailer that Matt Murdock and Jen are going to have a conversation at the bar. But let us know.
Don't tell me they're going to start dating.
No, they're not going to start dating. Why would you even think that? Why would you even think that?
Clearly, she's dating. And I don't know. He needs a handicap. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, you guys trash, man. I'm just going to go ahead. She's a Hulk. I don't think you understand the implications of what that is. She can't. Okay.
Anyone next to her, she's a Hulk that she doesn't need any help. She doesn't need any assistance. She doesn't need any mentoring.
I think she can use that from someone of a caliber of someone else. Anyone else.
So only Bruce. Since Bruce is a Hulk, Bruce is the only one that can give her advice.
I won't say that. I mean, we have somebody like maybe no, Gamora's gone too.
You just thinking green people?
Thanos is purple, man. What's going on right now?
You know what? I'm not even gonna say that.
What?
I'm about to say no. Go.
I don't see color.
Sure.
I don't see color at all. No, I'm just saying somebody like Thor. Like, I don't know what Thor's off-world, but she needs to spar with someone that's of sparring nature.
It's not about sparring. It's not about fighting Daredevil. She's not fighting Daredevil.
Thank God, because she would kill him. You guys trash. I'm just saying. Anyway, if you guys think Daredevil's not trash, y'all can talk about it. We can clearly see in a fight with anyone, you would lose. You wouldn't put Daredevil up against Wolverine, would you?
Serious? Wow. See, you.
Would you put Daredevil up against Wolverine? Any version of Wolverine?
You're going to these extremes. Do I expect him to survive? No, because Wolverine can impale him. Daredevil has fought. He's fought Kingpin. He's fought Bullseye. He's fought. He fought a whole fucking apartment building full of people. Daredevil is of this, like we said, this ground level. We have these X-Men and the mutants. They have this extra level of being able to fight powered people because they have powers. You wouldn't put. Would you put a person who does not have powers up against any powered person?
I wouldn't. That's exactly what I'm saying. Get out of this world, man. This world is not your world.
You're saying that everybody that doesn't have powers, they need to go.
No, I will say this. Guys like Hawkeye, which y'all can make fun of if y'all want to, has an advantage because I could shoot an arrow from a building across the way. We even seen with Loki. Loki grabbed the arrow and underestimated Hawkeye because like this dude think and it exploded in his face.
Right.
Don't underestimate Hawkeye because he has precision like bullseye as well.
Okay, but at the same time,
oh, well, she see how that worked out for her.
Well, Black Widow sacrificed herself.
Sacrifice herself. Okay, I got
what I'm saying is, so you're saying that because she doesn't have powers, that she's not equipped to be in the world of the MCU.
Does she have a Black Widow suit? Because let me be honest with you, man. Listen, even guys like Falcon does not have the super soldier serum in him, okay? So the healing factor is not, you're a regular, normal guy. Right. Shout out to you for having the courage to go out there on these wings and glide across the sky and shoot little Uzis to try to, but all this is bare. Even just now, you got the suit from Wakanda. I don't know why you didn't cover your head, but hey, man, whatever. Maybe it's invisibly covered. The bottom line is you need some type of protection out here in these streets. You're going up against guys with Asgardian construction equipment. You're going to need some type of protection. She's a Hulk. Daredevil is a loser. He's going to die if he goes out there in the world. Stick to your friendly neighborhood Hell's Kitchen. That's all I'm saying. What?
I disagree. I disagree. That's all I'm gonna say is I disagree. I feel like you have this concept of Daredevil and She-Hulk are going to fight, and so you think that he's going to die, which that's not what's going to happen. No, I'm not saying
he's not going to fight She-Hulk. I don't think there's a reason for them to fight. I think in a fight,
in a fight that he wouldn't stand a chance. Nobody's arguing
not against each other. In a fight, you're a liability. I have to protect you versus just kick these guys' butts. If Titania rolls up, now I gotta fight Titania and watch out for you because you can't take on Asgardian construction equipment. Your two little sticks can't handle. Get this guy out of here, man. Won't you? I'll put him on crowd control. Like, get this guy out of here, man. This guy can't.
Like I said, Matt.
That's one of the scenes. Listen, in Endgame, you got Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and you had Hulk there. The only reason Hulk didn't steal the show because Hulk had his issues going on. He couldn't turn into Hulk. If he was there, Hulk would have I can't really say because he didn't really beat Thanos, but these guys weren't Thanos. I think Hulk would have held his own. Maybe not with Ebony Maw, but definitely the other one. Whatever his name is with the hammer.
Call Obsidian.
Yeah, he would have handled him. And then that would have gave the other guys the ability to jump Ebony Maw. He's a Hulk. Come on, man. Love it. Love all of it. Get this guy out the show, man. Daredevil. What do you think? This is Netflix? This is Disney.
But when it comes to She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode 7, let us know in the comments what you thought about the episode. Let us know your thoughts about Daredevil, because obviously we have disagreeing views, but which side of the argument do you fall on? Do you think Daredevil was trash? Do you think Daredevil was trash?
Put him back in the dumpster. I love the Netflix show. It was an amazing show.
But if you like the episode, don't forget to like the...
Hey, let me say this. Let me say this before you go.
Go ahead.
When it came down to Luke Cage and Daredevil, the character that Rosario Dawson played, who she end up with?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because she know a trash hero and the awesome one when she see one. She was right there at the Cage house. Finish him. Having coffee. Daredevil came around and he was like, what about us? She was like, dude, you serious right now?
Never happened.
Exactly. That's what I would have said too.
If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes come out. If you want the audio version, search for All Things Super on all your favorite podcast streaming services. And if you want to join in on the conversation, you can tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
You know, when you get a piece of trash and you shoot and you make it, you just, instead of calling out a famous NBA player like, you know, LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, you just say, Daredevil. You go right in the dumpster. The trash heroes had a name and we Daredevil. Oh, sorry. All right, I'm done.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I love Daredevil.
Sure, you sure seem like it. You express nothing but love this entire episode.
One of my favorite guys. I love Daredevil.
You love Daredevil.
I don't like the yellow suit. I like the red suit. But I just think there's no room for him here. Listen, we could talk about it in the comments. It's okay.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Laters.